Hi, it's Adriana here, and I'm a BlackLine implementation consultant here at Tridant. I'm a chartered accountant with a background in external audit. As an external auditor, I've used BlackLine for our audit clients and really see the benefits compared to customers who rely on manual Excel-based financial close process. Today, I'll be talking about how BlackLine can make audits easier in your organization, not just for the auditors, but also for your accounting team. I'll be discussing how BlackLine can help to reduce the volume of audit sampling, reduce the effort in fulfilling audit requests, and also reduce management letter point. First thing we're going to look at is what BlackLine looks like in the lens of an external auditor. This is what your auditors will now be able to see and access the information on BlackLine. On the grid on the top left here is the account certification status widget, which shows you all the different balance sheet reconciliations that your auditors can access. The key control within BlackLine is that the auditor view and access is locked down, so they can only see reconciliations that have fully advanced to all levels of review across your organization. So if I click onto prepared but not reviewed reconciliation and go into that section, as you can see on the screen, I'm able to see the trial balance information, but I can't click onto any of those reconciliations. So your auditors won't be able to see those work in progress reconciliations before everyone on your team has signed off on them. For everything that is signed off, if I go down to the completed section here and click into this is where they will be able to see and get into the phase of reconciliation. So instead of requesting for all of your balance sheet reconciliations, which then you have to put in a zip file or auditor portal for the auditors, this is something that I, as an external auditor, was able to access from my clients, and your external auditors will be able to do the same too. Now let's look at the phase of a selected reconciliation here. This is essentially what replaces those Excel-based cover sheets. Your auditors will be able to go in and perform their substantive procedures, as well as their controls testing. First, we'll talk about going in and evaluating controls. One of the things that the auditors do is not only just look at how the reconciliations has been prepared and what items on it, and then there's the correctness of those items. They also look at the key levels of review and segregation of duty. When was it done and who was it done by? And this is something your auditor is able to actually test directly within BlackLine. If you click onto this history, you can see the name and the dates of everyone who signed off. And BlackLine has an automated control to make sure that no one can go in and change that. This is a lot better than my other audit clients who go in and write their name on top of the Excel spreadsheet. In relation to substantive testing, the process for how that works is we would take the balance of the GL account and use our audit firm calculator tools to determine how many samples we need to pick from a reconciliation. We then look at the reconciliation to decide which ones from our random sampler we're going to pick, and we would then ask for supporting documents for those items. Looking at this reconciliation here, I can see there's 3 different items in here. And if I had ran my sampling tool and picked the first one, I would now be able to drill in directly into the supporting document via BlackLine, retrieve it, view it, and complete my audit testing procedures from BlackLine. And again, on our non-BlackLine clients, this is typically a request I have to make saying, hey, I have picked a sample, can you please provide this file? But this is something that the auditors can access on demand now on BlackLine. This means less time for your accounting teams to fulfill the audit request. We have seen how the auditors can use BlackLine to reduce the amount of requests you need to fulfill. Well, what about your audit sampling? I'm not sure how many of you would know how auditors determine whether they're going to pick 50 samples, 100 samples, or even 1,000 samples. This slide here is something from an accounting textbook in terms of accounting standards of how we actually go about in determining the level of sampling. So you can see the calculation here around inherent risk and control risk. Basically, without going into too much detail, what this means is that the poorer your controls are, the higher the control risk is. And if both the control risk and the inherent risk is high for your organization, your auditors are simply going to pick more samples. If we can start to reduce the control risk, we can start to bring the sampling down. So we used to call it control reliance versus no control reliance. Any one of my audit clients with control reliance meant that we pick less samples from them, and therefore less audit requests to be substantiated by our clients. This is obviously important to you. If we can bring the control risk of your organization down, there will be less samples overall you need to provide to your external auditors. And how BlackLine can help facilitate this, as covered in a lot of our other videos, is how it strengthens the control environment. So automating controls traditionally done manually, reinforcing the segregation of duty between roles, and also automating processes like transaction matching, which adds to stronger controls and lower control risk, and therefore lower amount of samples that you need to provide to the auditors. Lastly, I believe most of you would have experienced after an audit where the external auditors raise improvement points. As an external auditor myself, I've had my fair share of writing management letter points, and most of them are around control deficiencies. For example, there's no evidence of review, or there's no segregation of duty between the preparers and the approvers. BlackLine can reduce likelihood of control deficiency by ensuring segregation of duty, automating transactional matching, and also eliminating any Excel-based calculation or hidden adjustments. As you can see, implementation of BlackLine can really make audits easier for your organization. If you're interested, feel free to look at our other videos or reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.